Hello everyone, it's me again, and today I'm back for another video. This video is going to be a bit of a different video. This video is going to be more serious and probably better than what I've made before. This video is going to be a bit of a love letter to Jurassic World Evolution, and mainly its fan base. I know in the previous two videos, I have dunked on Jurassic World Evolution and have pointed out its flaws. However, I still think it's a decent game. Without mods, of course. Mods make it a lot better. By the time this releases, Jurassic World Evolution 2 is 2 to 3 days from release, so I think this game deserves a proper send-off, and that's what this video is going to be. So first we're going to go over the history of Jurassic World Evolution itself. No, this video isn't dedicated to that, but I do believe that if we're going to give it a proper send-off, that we should go over its history and how people have received things announced. The announcement trailer for Jurassic World Evolution was shown at Gamescom in 2016. I'm not exactly sure when, but I'm sure that my editing self will correct me in the future. It gathered a lot of hype, as it was the first full-on non-app game Jurassic game for a long time. I can't go over every bit of history, but I'll try to briefly summarize it for you guys. Every time that we got more news for the game, we got more and more hyped for Jurassic World Evolution to drop. Species profiles and subsequently marketing started happening around January 19th, 2018, the first species profile being Triceratops. When the game dropped on June 12th, 2018, it wasn't really what people were expecting. At launch, the creativity was pretty limited, and overall the game was actually pretty underwhelming. There were no decorations, no terrain painting, and very limited terraforming tools. The terraforming tools wouldn't be changed, however, it makes a point. Ultimately, launch was rough and really wasn't great. The dinosaurs were pretty limited and had almost nothing to do besides eat and walk around. As I said, not the greatest. The first DLC and the update that rolled around with it, Update 1.5, was announced on November 20th, 2018. The DLC was The Secrets of Dr. Wu. So this was the start of when the DLC phase for the game started rolling out, and we started getting major updates that really improved the game. Update 1.5 included a day and night cycle, herding, sleeping, and other things. Mainly, it was focused on improving the dinosaur, but at this point the game was still far from what the final product would bring us. The Dr. Wu DLC contained the ability for you to more intricately edit DNA behaviors, like social needs, biome needs, and other stuff like that, which was a helper as it made the animals more forgiving. It also added 3 new hybrids, the Spinoraptor, the Stegoceratops, and the Ankylodocus, as well as 2 new species, the Olorotitan and Troodon. These 3 hybrids weren't exactly met with great reception. The Dr. Wu DLC was also the first DLC to contain new narrative story missions. Then after that, the Cretaceous Dinosaur DLC was released on December 3rd, 2018, along with Update 1.6. The Cretaceous Dinosaur DLC contained the Dreadnoughtus, Iguanodon, and Carcharodontosaurus. Update 1.6 added more sandbox features, like toggleable incubation failures, and also dinosaur needs. It also made it possible to play all islands in Challenge and Sandbox, which was a great help. Then, the Carnivore Pack dropped on April 17th, 2019, alongside Update 1.7. 1.7 mainly added capture mode, and that's about it. The Carnivore Pack added Proceratosaurus, Acrocanthosaurus, and Herrerasaurus. Most of these animals, with the exception of Acrocanthosaurus, were met with pretty good reception. Acro, not so much because the design honestly wasn't all that good. Then after that, the Clear Sanctuary DLC was released on June 18th, 2018, alongside Update 1.8. Clear Sanctuary contained a new story mission with you returning to Nublar to save the dinosaurs and bring them back to Sanctuary. It also added Paleobotany and the Ouranosaurus, Albertosaurus, and Euoplocephalus. This DLC was honestly received pretty poorly by the community. It wasn't all that great, and it definitely wasn't people's favorites. Update 1.8 added fish feeders for the Spinosaurids, and also terrain brushes and scenery items like rocks and trees. This update was really great for creativity and stuff like that. Update 1.9 dropped on August 27th, 2019. It was the Battle at Big Rock update, and it added the Nasutoceratops and the Allosaurus for free, which was very nice of Frontier. This update was overall received very well. Update 1.7 was on September 17th, 2019, as well as the Herbivore Pack. The Herbivore Pack added Nigrosaurus, Dryosaurus, and Homalocephali. This pack was generally well received, with all of these picks being really cool picks for the game, and the Homalocephali and Dryosaurus just being straight up cute. Then Update 1.11, as well as the Raptor Squad Skin Pack, was dropped on November 26, 2019. The Raptor Skin Pack added the Raptor Squad Skin, which was honestly cheeky of Frontier. To make it a whole DLC, I didn't really like it. It should have been in the base game if you ask me. Then, Update 1.12 and the Return to Jurassic Park DLC was released. I didn't put the date in the notes. I'll put it up on the screen. I'm sorry. Return to Jurassic Park added a whole new campaign, a what-if scenario on what would happen if the park was successful. It added a whole lot of new movie-accurate skins, the Jurassic Park era, including differently styled buildings and contracts, and 2 new species, Compsognathus and Pteranodon. Update 1.12 added new ranger interactions and the ability for ranger vehicles to get destroyed. It also added toilet needs. Return to Jurassic Park was by far the best DLC for the game. It added the most, it just was the best, the campaign was the best out of all of them, and alongside Update 1.12 just really fleshed out the game a lot. It was pretty cool. Also, around the time of Return to Jurassic Park, modding for the game was released. At the time, the best that they could do for modding was just replace models for existing dinosaurs. That's really it. Return to Jurassic Park marked the last of Jurassic World Evolution development. Here we have basically the final product after all updates. After all updates, Jurassic World Evolution was honestly a pretty enjoyable experience, with all of the creative features and such added. It was mediocre at launch, and it went to pretty good by the end of it. It was a game that I would recommend if you just want a chill experience. The update definitely made the game a lot more worth it, for at least a lot of people. After development was over, modders really went in and started cracking in on the game. As I said before, it started with mainly just being able to replace existing dinosaurs models with other creatures. Modding like this would continue for a while, with a few small advancements, until roughly January 6th, 2018. On Jan 6th, the first ever update to add entirely new species, not replacing an old one, was added in the form of Pachyrhinosaurus. This was a gigantic modding breakthrough at the time, and really signified a new modding renaissance of sorts. This really brought back the game and revived it and just made it a whole lot better. With this, new species mods would become the norm for animals, and the roster started incredibly blowing up beyond our imaginations. This means that we didn't have to sacrifice animals anymore. It was pretty cool. We also got other modding breakthroughs such as enhanced terrain tools, which drastically improved the terraforming tools and really expanded our creativity in exhibits. We also got expanded islands, which made the maps massively larger, even being able to build on the beach and the water surrounding the islands. And finally, Ultimate Mixed Eras, which was one of, if not the biggest modding breakthrough. It adds mixed eras, but also completely removes the hitbox from basically everything. These mods took Jurassic World Evolution to a whole new level. This was arguably Jurassic World Evolution's peak, getting the updates that it deserved, increasing the creativity a lot. Honestly, it was really nice seeing people not giving up on this game and trying to push it to its limits. It really just goes to show how dedicated this community can be, and the lengths that the community can go to make sure that their favorite game doesn't die. With this, the YouTube scene with Jurassic World Evolution also exploded. Of course, all of this was to change around June 10th, 2021, when Jurassic World Evolution 2 was announced. I've already made 2 videos explaining my thoughts on Jurassic World Evolution 2, so if you want to go check those out, please do so. With the release of the second game, this basically makes the first game obsolete. Of course, no disrespect to the modders, they have worked very hard. With this, I do suspect that modding will start to stagnate and eventually just die. There might still be a small community around Jurassic World Evolution 1, but I think the majority of the modding community will be focused on trying to crack into the second game. Ultimately, we saw Jurassic World Evolution go from an overhyped rush game with not much to offer in terms of creativity, to in the end a game with a lot to offer, and a lot of love put into it by the community. That I can really appreciate. So here, I'm giving it the goodbye it deserves. We had a lot of fun times. I even used this game for speed builds as background footage. The game ultimately is quite fun, but the future of this game is not dead, as there's hope on the horizon. With Jurassic World Evolution 2 coming in roughly 3 days, we'll be getting a whole new and vastly improved game experience, and one that modders will probably have even more fun trying to crack into. We had our ups, our downs, but in the end, we had a good time. So with that, goodbye, Jurassic World Evolution.